Drive through any country in Western Europe, and you'll notice something missing. Fast food is everywhere. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, they're all there. But the signs? They're small, low to the ground. Sometimes just a logo on a building facade. Now, drive through literally any American highway town. You'll see signs that are 60, 80, sometimes over 100 feet tall. Signs so big they're visible from a mile away. Signs that tower over the gas stations, the motels, the trees, everything. Same company, same logo, completely different scale. Nobody talks about this. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the reason it happened reveals something strange about how America was built and how a decision made 70 years ago quietly shaped the landscape of the entire country. Most people assume those giant signs are just aggressive marketing. More visibility, more customers. Simple. But that's not the real story. Those signs, called pylon signs or pole signs, are actually banned or heavily restricted in most of Europe. France banned highway billboard advertising back in 1979. The UK has strict height limits near roads. Japan controls outdoor commercial signage in ways that would make an American highway strip look almost alien by comparison. So how did the United States go completely the other direction? The answer has nothing to do with fast food. It starts with something that happened years before McDonald's put up its first golden arch, and it changed the entire physical shape of the country. 1956. President Eisenhower signs the Federal Aid Highway Act, 41,000 miles of interstate highway, the largest public works project in American history. Within a few years, tens of millions of Americans are driving at speeds they'd never driven before. 60, 70 miles an hour, passing through towns they've never visited, hungry, tired, no idea what's coming up next. And here's the thing about driving at highway speed. Your decision window is tiny. At 65 miles per hour, you have about 4 to 6 seconds to see a sign. Read it, decide to stop, and safely reach the exit. 4 to 6 seconds. A small sign at ground level, totally fine in a walkable town, is completely invisible at that speed. You're already past it before your brain finishes reading it. So the signs had to get taller, because taller meant visible from farther away. And farther away meant more time to decide. This wasn't a design choice, it was physics. But here's where it gets really interesting. The highway didn't just create a need for bigger signs, it created a brand new type of American consumer. The highway stranger. Before the interstate era, most people ate at local diners, places with regulars, places someone recommended to you. You went because you'd been before or because you knew someone who had. The highway traveler had none of that. They were passing through a town they'd never seen, with 30 minutes to spare, and zero local knowledge. They didn't want to discover something new. They wanted zero surprises, known price, known menu, acceptable bathroom. That's the entire psychological foundation of the American fast food chain. But that promise is worthless if the driver blows past the exit without seeing the sign. So the chains didn't compete on food, they competed on height. Your sign is 50 feet, mine is 60. You go 70, I go 80. And then something locked this in permanently, not just on highways, but on every commercial strip in every American city. In the 1960s and 70s, as the suburbs exploded, American zoning codes quietly tied sign height to road speed limits. The faster the road, the taller the sign you were legally allowed to build, seemed logical. But it created a feedback loop. Wider roads meant higher speed limits. Higher speed limits meant taller legal signs. Taller signs rewarded businesses set way back from the road with massive parking lots. More parking lots meant more driving. More driving justified wider roads. Each decision made the next one feel necessary. And the fast food chains mastered this system better than anyone. They hired specialists to find the exact maximum sign height allowed in every zip code across the country, and built right to that limit every single time. So when you see a 100-foot McDonald's sign above a highway interchange, you're not just looking at marketing. You're looking at the physical record of post-war America. The interstate system, the suburbs, the car-dependent cities, the zoning rules that rewarded scale, the psychology of a traveler who needed certainty more than quality. Europe kept signs small because it never built itself around highway speed car culture the same way. America made a different bet. Visibility was progress. Scale was success. And if you couldn't see it from the highway, it basically didn't exist. And honestly, at 2 in the morning, 6 hours into a drive, exhausted, and you see that Waffle House sign glowing above the tree line, it's kind of beautiful. If you've ever driven through another country and felt like something looked just off compared to home, there's usually a real story behind that feeling. That's what this channel is about. Subscribe.